Hey everybody, it's Monica and welcome to King's Titan Homestead. It's been a little while since I've done a video, but I'm back. I have been gone for a few weeks and enjoying a little bit of vacation time, well, kind of. But while I'm back now, I'm starting to do some goals. And so we started cleaning, organizing, doing our spring cleaning, because beekeepers really can't do their spring cleaning in spring because we're so busy with the bees. Spring is bee time. But now that it's starting to slow down a little bit in the removals, I'm going to be doing a little bit more work here around the homestead. We're also going to be adding more classes and maybe even doing some online classes and courses. So we have all kinds of different projects that we're trying to get going, but my clutter is getting in the way. So one of the huge things, I'm so tired of these large companies taking huge percentages of sales, like eBay and Etsy and all those places, and they're the ones making the most money. And so if you don't have things selling, the posting fees are just eating you up. And so what I decided to do in order to get rid of my clutter, on my Facebook page, just Monica King, I'm putting a bunch of my items up, $1, no reserve, for 1 week listings. And so not only will you see postings of my bee stuff and my plants and my animals, but you'll also get to get some really cool collectibles and such off of my Facebook page right now, where I'm just kind of blowing a bunch of things out. I have sterling silver bracelet on there, $1, no reserve. There's no bid on it. I don't know, somebody might get it for $1. I have 10 karat gold sea opal earrings on there. I have all kinds of really cool things starting, and as I'm cleaning and as I'm moving around the property, there'll be more and more things up for sale for little to nothing. So basically, if nobody else sees it or bids on it, you'll be getting things really, really cheap right now. So if you do go on there, I'm only accepting forms of payment would be through my Square invoicing if you need to use a credit card. I prefer Zelle so that there's no fees taken out, and you pay shipping. That's all I ask. So, and then we can do local pickup and delivery depending on what my time schedule is and when I'm if you're in the Tucson and general surrounding areas. So yeah, there's that. And we have some really, really fun things on there. I put a bunch of cool stuff on already. I did take yesterday off. I did not post anything yesterday or the day before on there because we had a bunch of storm damage, even though we've only gotten so far for the month of July, and there's only a couple days left of the month, but we've only gotten 1.5 inches of rain. Not much. Other areas of southern Arizona have gotten a lot more. In fact, a lot more in just one rain. I mean, this is our total over a few storms, but these storms are bringing violent winds, and we had so many losses. We lost a shed that just basically ripped off the floor. We've lost, it was just a mess. We've lost a lot. I lost some hives from it. Yeah, huge losses. So I had to clean up from storm damages from when I was gone, and got back and saw all this damage. And then yesterday I had to run to town and check on one of my nukes that I had sold to a hobbyist. And so I was going to talk a little bit about that for just a second, because if you're watching and you're one of the followers for the bees, this is something for you. If you just are getting into beekeeping, I cannot stress the importance of this ratio. If you learn nothing else from me, take this home. To raise one frame of brood, you must have 1 frame of honey or nectar, 1 frame of pollen or bee bread, and the equivalent of 1 frame of water to raise that 1 frame of brood. If you do not have that food sources, those resources in the colony or coming in the front door, like if you look at your entrance and you have poor forage, like your foragers are somehow not reaching forage age, for instance, your guard bees are getting taken out from robbing situation. If you're not seeing these resources already in there, your queen is not going to be laying. She is going to be shutting down. She's going to not be laying a whole lot. Or when you look at that brood, it's going to be spotty. It's going to be cannibalized. It's going to be taken out the front door and thrown away. There's going to be all kinds of situations because they can't raise that brood. They can't feed it. If they can't feed it, or if they don't have the demographics or the numbers inside the colony in order to take care of that brood, they're not going to raise that brood either. So there's so many different things that go into a colony's health before you blame the queen's laying patterns. So that ratio, 1 to 1 to 1, remember it. If they don't have it, you must supplement it. So I sat in front of an entrance and I was sitting there watching, and I did not see flight activity. When I was watching the 2 other hives there was pollen coming in, but no pollen coming into this nucleus. And then I realized, as I'm watching it, I saw a bee come and another bee just got in a fight and they got killed. Or the guard bee from that nucleus colony was killed. So basically, those poor bees aren't even reaching forage age. They are guarding the house and they're not getting to go out. They're not gathering pollen. They're not gathering resource. They're not bringing it back, and the queen is shutting down. So basically, you must feed, especially during a dearth, pollen or bee bread is their protein. Imagine all you have inside you. We got lots of food. There's food in there. Bees do not survive just on honey. No. Honey is their carbohydrate. Honey is basically having a bunch of ice cream or candy and, like pastas and things like that. And you need protein also in your body. And that's what they need in order to create the food for their babies. So I can't stress the importance of that. The other thing basically is, again, this is during a dearth. You can't have an open entrance, full open entrance. It needs to be reduced. And you need to assist them in regulating temperatures because they don't have the proper amount of bees. So you can't have a full screen bottom board totally open and an open door, and then have your brood staggered where there's too much space inside there from where the brood is to the food frames. There's just all kinds of different things that you have to take into consideration. So when I'm saying this is that this person has never taken a class. This is a DIY beekeeper trying to learn everything from their own research. But let me tell you why classes are important. You are getting the knowledge from the beekeeper teaching that class, from what that beekeeper knows to date. So if you ask the beekeeper that's teaching the class, how long have you been beekeeping? And they say, 5 years. Or if you ask the beekeeper, how long have you been beekeeping? And they're like, I'm, 3rd generation or whatever. Take into consideration that you're going to be getting that person's knowledge passed on to you and all their experiences for your area. So take a local beekeeping course. That's very, very important, with some hands-on experience. And the last thing you need to be doing, and I'm going to try to keep this to myself, I'm trying not to vent, but to be doing bee removals when you don't even know this basic knowledge is dangerous, because Africanized bees are crazy. I had wondered, and now I found out, that this person's bees are literally within range of a very hostile trap out that I'm working on right now. And I can't help but wonder, would that person have gotten those bees if this other person with no experience wasn't doing those bee removals. So when I asked, where are all your bees going that you're doing these bee removals? And oh, they're coming to my property right here. But I can't hold them down. I've only, the bees are leaving. And I'm like, whoa, you're gifting bees to your neighbors, to your neighborhood. And you've got to hold them down. It's not right. I mean, as beekeepers, we have to be very, what's the wording I'm looking for? You have to understand what you are bringing into your area when you're doing bee removals. You have to be able to hold those bees down, to convince those Africanized feral girls to stay in your box, and you have to change them to European if you're doing it in a residential setting. And now some might say, well, maybe the area wasn't as residential. I mean, they didn't have really close neighbors, but close enough neighbors. And if you do a 2-3 mile radius around your location, where are you sending them to? In this situation, this nasty swarm is in a 55 and over community. And this can get dangerous. So I'm just try not to do those kind of things. Try to get some hands-on experience. Try to do a little bit more. This is not, there's too many people that think with Africanized bees, just jump in with 2 feet and you learn as you go. Problem is, there's other people in your surroundings that you need to be thinking about. So I don't mind sharing my knowledge. I don't mind people tagging along. I've tried everything I can do to teach. And there's still people out there that think that the best way to go about things is do it yourself and just jump in. And, I vented. Sorry about that. There's more to come soon, I promise. We have all kinds of really awesome things coming up in our channel. Wow. So, sorry. Thanks for joining me. I apologize, but this is something I'm passionate about. And so the Tucson area, Southern Arizona Beekeepers Association, I am getting ready to go do a talk about my vacation that I took. And that's where I'm going to be sharing this. I did a PowerPoint already. It's ready, and Michael's going to help me put that on at the Coffee and Beekeeping this morning. And meeting that we're having. And then the other thing, before I go to the meeting, I am going to work at a hobbyist hives that has two Africanized hives that have gotten way out of control, and I'm going to go assist in the requeening of those before I even go to the meeting. So my husband says, take a wet washcloth and clean yourself up before you go in. I'm like, these people know me. These are other beekeepers. I'm okay to go in with veil hair. Have a good day, everybody.